Bam! Jayson Waller here with the BAM Podcast. That's right, Business and Money Podcast. You want to make money? You want to conquer business? You want to go ahead and get that mindset right to take you to the next level and level up? You got to listen to the show. We're going to have all kinds of guests on there, billionaires, millionaires, athletes, actors, you name it. We're going to have them on here. They're going to be talking about their success, their struggles, their life, their hardship. I'm going to talk about my success, my struggle, my life, my hardship. So tune in. Bam! Jayson Waller here with the BAM Podcast. That's right, business, attitude, and money. Top 5 entrepreneur podcast, top 20 business podcast. Thank you for all the listeners and subscribers out there. I appreciate all the support and love, but I have got a fucking Goliath monster here today. I saw this guy posting some things recently. I started doing my research. I said, this is a motherfucker I got to have on the show. This guy's real. This guy's raw. And, you know, he's involved in 30 different businesses. He does coaching and mentoring. He's been on fucking TV. He's got a wonderful family. He's a family dude. And he's out there with missions trying to help people make millions. My man, Keaton, how you doing, baby?
I'm good, man. I'm really good. Thanks for having me on. I'm really excited.
So I was confused on your name. It was like, all right, it says muscle. I'm like, all right, it's muscle. I'm Googling muscle. True story. Oh shit. Then it's like Keaton Hoskins. And I'm like, right. Hodgins or Hoskins? It's
Hoskins.
Yeah. And I'm oh, and then I'm like, oh, I've seen this motherfucker on TV before. Holy shit. So then I'm like, all right, I get it. Cause I've seen the show a few times. I'm like, then I start researching your shit. I'm like, dude, this guy's doing some dope shit. He's out there making a difference. He's helping people. He's fucking trying to, you know, prosper in life. I saw that you just invested in that cookie company I want to get into, like different things you're doing. I'm like, dude, that's my kind of dude right there. We got to get on here and chat.
No, dude, I appreciate it. I've kind of been all over the board since I was really, really young. I could never work for anybody. So I was like, you know what, man, fuck all this idea of working for somebody. I'm just going to start building companies. And that's essentially what I did, man. From the time I was 21 till now I'm 35, I've started about 35 companies, actually, and just been rocking and rolling, tearing shit apart. And along the way, we had a TV show that was the #1 TV show on Discovery Channel called Diesel Brothers, which some people have seen. I always tell people this because I always give them like a really quick synopsis of it. It actually didn't do me very many favors because people actually thought I was like the parts guy on the show because that's the way I was portrayed. But the truth is I built the company with my very good friend Heavy D and Diesel Dave. And I actually left the company before we started filming the TV show. But when they did the TV show, they asked me, they said, you got to come back. We got to have you. So, dude, the whole 8 seasons that we shot the show, I was never even really working there. It was total bullshit.
8 seasons. How long did that take to film 8 seasons?
10 years.
Holy fuck.
We just finished our last season 6 months ago. It just finished airing.
And look, I've seen a couple of the shows. You know, I remember seeing it and I'd have to go back and watch them all, but I'm not a guy. It's like, fuck, that's already happened. Let me go back type person.
Yeah, me neither.
I remember seeing a couple episodes and you guys doing your thing. And it's crazy with reality TV that people don't realize that, listen, they've got to come up with storylines. They've got to come up with certain shit because, yeah, we have our own problems. But when the cameras are there, when the people are there, some of that shit's got to be fabricated to make problems, correct?
Oh, dude, it's all bullshit. Listen, anybody who's watching reality shows thinking that it's real reality is out of their face. The truth is there is things that come up, and the truth is that when it comes up, they usually aren't filming it. So then they tell us to go back, and we got to reenact the bullshit that we just went through. So most of the time, what you see is something that probably did happen, but it didn't happen the way that the story was told. And you know, the reality of it for us is we did do the builds. We did do the storylines. They just weren't really filmed the way that it looks like they're filmed. And that was one of our hardest things with the TV show. And I tell people this all the time. You know, we told them we were done. They came to us and said, we're ready for a whole new season. We want to do 5 new seasons, blah, blah, blah. And we said, guys, we're done. Because the truth is it's all bullshit. And none of us want to be in that industry anymore. So we kind of parted ways. Not on a good note. Discovery's not happy with us right now. But it is what it is. And the show's over. So.
Well, there you go. So I'm glad that I can pick your brain on that because I was approached by some folks. We were talking a little bit before this. I built 4 companies, not 30, 4 companies, but 3 of them worth over $10 million with great exits. And the last one worth $1.05 billion. I had a reverse merger signed, was supposed to go public in July 2022. And between the time of May and September 2022, our company lost $120 million. We were doing north of $600 million in revenue. And I built it from the ground up. It's all I know how to do, true entrepreneur, and you get that. And I loved it. It was something I was passionate about, but we had a product liability issue. So there's lawsuits everywhere. I've got a lawsuit against Generac for $1 billion. The company's got a lawsuit against Generac. Customers, now that we closed and we had this product liability issue, they're suing the company. They're suing me. They're suing Generac. Like, it's a fucking shitstorm with all of that and some of my experience. Like, I've had a TED talk and a book and all this shit, and it's kind of fucking crazy as I get. They're like, hey, we'd like to do a fucking entrepreneur show where it's like, and it's a test pilot. It's called like the Bam Fam Entrepreneur Shitstorm from the boardroom to the bedroom. And I've always been no fucking way am I going to do that and subject my family to that until now. I'm not going to be a public CEO, and I'm kind of like, I got some time to do some shit. Maybe I'll do it. So what are your thoughts on that?
So you know what, dude? I have people all over the world. In fact, most of the reality shows that you see now, especially on Discovery, they come to us and they ask us, hey, is it worth it? Should I do it? Is it worth the time? And listen, I tell people this all the time. If you have your own thing going and you're making money and you're happy and you're succeeding in your own right, absolutely not. Stay the fuck away from reality TV. It's garbage. Now, if you're a nobody and you're looking to become famous, you're not looking to get rich because TV doesn't make you rich.
It doesn't pay you. People don't realize that. You got to tell them that again. It doesn't pay you.
No, dude. I mean, dude, listen, my best season, I think we made 10 grand an episode. And dude, we were doing 8 to 12 episodes a year. So
and it's work.
80
it's
to 100
hours of work.
It's not worth it, dude. It's not worth it. And here's the craziest part. I tell people this all the time because people always wonder, oh, well, that guy's only famous or he only is rich because he was on TV. Dude, every dime I made on TV, when I got sued by the EPA because we were on TV with diesel trucks, I paid it all. All the money I ever made on TV, I paid back in my lawsuit to the Environmental Protection Agency, essentially. And so, dude, it's not worth it, and it's such a fucking headache. I have run companies from the ground up, and I have never in my life worked for such little money as I did on TV. And the truth is, dude, it's a bad environment, too. It's a bunch of cutthroat motherfuckers that don't like you, that are just wringing you out to make as much money as they possibly can. And, dude, the truth is, my experience with it, although it was fun with my friends, it was not a good experience with the whole production company and everything. It was quite a nightmare.
Yeah, well, hey, that's feedback I might be listening to. I mean, I'm definitely going to listen to, but I'm going to have to think about because I've always been nervous to jump into that realm. I'm like, I don't want to subject and I've never needed to. And I had to carry this really well persona where I was getting coaching to be a public CEO. And when you're doing that, you can't be fucking around. But now I'm not. The $1 billion company crumbled. I lost $400 million. I'm starting over, and I'm like, maybe. I mean, maybe, but hearing this makes me think maybe not. So let's talk about your experience in your life. Like, it's very intriguing. You said you've been involved in opening 30 fucking plus companies, dude. And listen, kudos to you for that because I've done 4 and when you open a business, it's the fucking same. I mean, everyone can tell me it's the same. It's just a different product that you're selling, different people, but it's very, very much of the same cookie cutter program. But when you first started to your last one, where were some pivotal points that fucking made you the badass that you are? Where did it go? Holy fuck, I've learned from that problem, because nobody ever wants to talk about the fuck ups, the losses. You just talked about the lawsuit from the EPA. I mean, when you're in business, you get lawsuits, shit hits the fan. What kind of hard fucking things hit you right in the face and you're like, holy shit, but then you succeeded either in that business or the next one because of it?
Well, dude, my story is really different because I love hearing people talk about, oh, failure makes the man. The more you fail, the more you succeed. I've been lucky enough not to ever really have failed. Now, I've made mistakes, but every business I've started has made money. I've never had a business do more than, let's say, maybe $15 million. I've never had a business do more than 15 million. So with that said, I've never done a $400 million company, which, dude, kudos to you. I think that's unreal. But what I did learn really young, when I was 21 years old, my father actually passed away, and I watched him try to teach me the 401k, the 9 to 5, the safe route. And I watched that same company pretty much fire him and let him go right before he died. And I thought, dude, that's not the safe route. And there's no fucking thing in the world that's safe.